Triple gems for you all. The Dhamma sermon conducted based on the book The Explanation of the Factors of Enlightenment from the series of Dhamma books authored by Most Venerable Professor Rerukane Chandavimala Thero is titled by Mekala Niwena Bana. We respectfully welcome our Venerable Sandalankawe Kalyanadassana Thero to deliver Dhamma sermon. Today, this Dhamma sermon is sponsored for worldwide broadcast via Jaya TV by Mr. Saman Kumar along with his wife and daughter. Now, we respectfully invite Venerable Sandalankawe Kalyanadassana Thero to deliver Dhamma sermon. Let's pay the homage to Lord Buddha by reciting Namaskara 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Saranagamanaං sampunnaං
ආමබන්තේ
පානාතිපාතා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
පානාදිපාතා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
අදින්නාදානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
අදින්නාදානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
කාමේසු මිච්ඡාචාරා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
කාමේසු මිච්ඡාචාරා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
මුසාවාදා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
මුසාවාදා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
සුරාමේරය මජ්ජපමා දට්ඨානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
සුරාමේරය මජ්ජපමා දට්ඨානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි.
තිසරණේන සද්දින් පංචශීලං ධම්මං සාදුකං සුරක්ෂිතං කତ୍වා අප්පමාදේන සම්පාදේ තබ්බං.
ආමබන්තේ සාදු සාදු සාදු.
සමන්තා චක්කවාලේසු අත්‍රා ගච්ඡන්තු දේවතා සද්දම්මං මුනි රාජස්ස සුනන්තු සග්ග මොක්ඛදං ධම්මස්සවන කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා. ධම්මස්සවන කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා. ධම්මස්සවන කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. uppannānaṁ කුසලානං ධම්මානං ඨිතියා අසම්මෝසාය භීයෝ භාවාය වේපුල්ලාය භාවනාය පාරිපුරියා චන්දං ජනේති වායමති විරියං ආරභති චිත්තං පග්ගන්හාති පදහති ඉමේ කෝ භික්කවේ චත්තාරෝ සම්මප්පදානාති. With respect to the most venerable Mahasangha and dear devotees and Dhamma friends, we welcome you to yet another Dhamma sermon related to the factors of enlightenment with the description of the book written by Rerukane Chandavimala Mahanayaka Thero, the explanation of the factors of enlightenment. So, dear devotees, we are in the discussion of the right strivings. If I give you a briefing regarding what we have discussed in previous Dhamma discussions, these 37 enlightenment factors are subdivided into 7 categories. Chattaro Satipattana, Chattaro Sammappadana, Chattaro Iddipada, Panchendriya, Panchabala, Sapta Bojjanga, and Aryo Attangiko Maggo. So, we have discussed the Chattaro Satipattana, the 4 establishments of mindfulness. Now we are in the discussion of Chattaro Sammappadana, which is termed as 4 right strivings. Now, in these 4 right strivings, dear devotees, what we have to do is, we have to inculcate the wholesome states and we have to eradicate the unwholesome states. In this context, what we have to do is, we have to eradicate all the unwholesome states and we have to develop the wholesome states. In one way, we have to give up all the unwholesomeness. In the other way, we have to obtain, we have to achieve all the wholesome states. So, during this harsh journey of endless samsara, we have done a lot of meritorious deeds and as well as demerits have been done by ourselves in previous lives. So, among those unarisen wholesome states, supramundane levels of fruitions and paths we could not achieve yet, we could not arise yet. So now this effort, now this Dhamma sermon, why we are listening to this Dhamma sermon? In order to gain the insight to develop the unarisen wholesome states. And also, if there are any remaining arisen unwholesome states, what we have to do is, we have to get rid from all those unwholesome states. Now, dear devotees, you know the threefold training, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, always you should have reflection. You should reflect or you should contemplate on your virtue or morality, the Sila, concentration, the Samadhi, and the Panya, the wisdom. If we elaborate regarding to the Sila or virtue, you know devotees, we observe 5 precepts, 10 precepts, and 8 precepts, and also the bhikkhus, especially the novice monks, now they observe Pabbajja Dasasila, and when you come to the higher ordained monk or Upasampada bhikkhus, now they observe the higher precepts of higher ordination. In number, there are 220 precepts, and altogether big subcategories. Now there are millions of precepts that an higher ordained monk, a higher ordained monk should follow. So, but as a lay devotee, have you ever thought, what are the unarisen wholesome states according to the Sila I should develop? Now this is the question you should raise towards yourself. If you are a practitioner or a seeker who have observed 5 precepts. So that means you have developed your sila only up to the 5 precept level. So that is the arisen virtue in you. So now it is the time for another step. So next step of your sila attribution or aspect of sila, your version of sila should be upgraded. So then now you can develop, you can observe the 8 precepts. If you have practiced the 8 precepts, what you have to do, now you can upgrade your sila as 10 precepts. So this is the way you should reflect. So dear devotees, normally these mobile devices and appliances, what we do, we upgrade them. Time to time, the technology develops. So as your houses or household environments and all your ornaments, now you upgrade them. Even sometimes the vehicles, even sometimes you upgrade your way of life as well. Now I'm telling you, we suggest you should upgrade your threefold training. You should upgrade your spiritual life as well. Now see, as I told you, have you ever had a thought of upgrading your virtue? Have you ever had a thought of upgrading your concentration? Have you ever had a thought of upgrading your wisdom? In fact, you might have that knowledge, or you might have those thoughts in you, but not intentionally. Now this is the time intentionally you have to upgrade your sila, samadhi and panya. By listening to the Dhamma sermons, by participation to the sila programs, you can develop. But now that is, I believe that most of the people unintentionally they try to develop their sila, samadhi and panya. But now we have to pay more attention on these threefold training. Now this sila, samadhi and panya, you should upgrade intentionally. For this context, you have to put more effort. So that is what we call 4 right strivings, 4 right efforts. Now, dear devotees, when you come to the sila, always you have to protect your precepts. So if there is any breakage of your sila or the precepts, what you have to do, you have to reflect it. Now I have lost my sila. Now what I should do, I have to observe these 5 precepts again. Like that manner, you can always contemplate on sila. You can always think about your sila, whether that is not broken or it is you have conducted your verbal and physical deeds according to your sila, then so that you can develop your virtue. Now, what about the concentration? In the last episode, in fact, we have given the topics about this concentration, but now we couldn't elaborate on the concentration as well. Now, dear devotees, now concentration or the samadhi, also we have to have some intentionally upgraded version. So nowadays, now we are always talking about these new versions of life. Now this is our suggestion to you. Think about the new version of concentration of your life. For instance, let's take one meditation practice let's take Anapanasati meditation. You know, while carrying out the Anapanasati meditation, a seeker or the practitioner, he or she focuses on the breathing air where it rubs. Normally, this breathing air contacts at the nostrils or at the upper lip. So, whenever that particular seeker gets the shallow concentration, initial concentration, that is what we call the Parikamma Samadhi. So, preparatory concentration, you know, at that level, at that time, mind wanders from, you know, they are due to distractions, maybe kama chanda, maybe hateful, thoughts. Likewise, now due to the hindrances, it is normal to toggle the mind from one object to the other, even though you are in the practice session or in a meditation session. So at this point, this preparatory samadhi or preparatory concentration, parikamma samadhi, is the initial state. You know, if you have practiced the Anapanasati meditation, after couple of days, or maybe if you are a practitioner if you have the practice in your previous lives, maybe after couple of minutes or couple of hours later, you will get some kind of higher concentration. That is not the jhanic level, but still you have some concentration or higher attention on your mind. So that higher focus or focal state is called the access concentration, or we call the upachara samadhi. So there you are about to gain a jhana. So at that point, especially in Anapanasati meditation, you will get this counter sign. So that is called the Patibhaga Nimitta. So this Patibhaga Nimitta, once achieved, now your concentration is quite developed. Now with the development of higher concentration, still this is mundane, not the supramundane level. Then if you contemplate on that Patibhaga Nimitta further and further, then you will attain a more serene, tranquilized state. That is what they call the Patama Jhana or a jhanic level. Now there you have got the Arpana Samadhi or absorption level of concentration. Now dear devotees, now this context, now you have to think like they say, have I ever achieved the Parikamma Samadhi or practice concentration within this life? If you have achieved that, now that is a reason, wholesome concentration. If you have not developed the Parikamma Samadhi or practice concentration, that is unarisen, wholesome concentration. Suppose you are a meditator, you have developed the Parikamma Samadhi, but you have not attained the access level or access concentration. So this access concentration or upachara samadhi is the unarisen wholesome state, where practice concentration or parikamma samadhi is the arisen wholesome concentration. The same manner, when you come to the arpana samadhi or absorption concentration, if you have developed absorption concentration, that is arisen one. So, to develop the absorption concentration, definitely you have to pass the access concentration and as well as the practice concentration. Initially practice concentration, next level is the access concentration, then the final level is the arpana level, the absorption concentration. So all these three stages that you have achieved, those are arisen wholesome states. Then a person who has gained the jhanic level or the arpana samadhi, now supramundane concentration is unarisen still in him. Now what he should do is he should start to practice his arpana samadhi along with the insight. So the normally what we do, we raise from the samadhi, arpana samadhi or absorption concentration, then we convert the meditation into the insight meditation. You know, once achieve the arpana level, arpana samadhi, you can develop further in the tranquility meditation as first jhana, second jhana, third, fourth, likewise, then the arupa jhanic levels as well. But once achieve those levels, in order to attain the nibbana or enlightenment, you have to convert your tranquility meditation into the insight meditation or vipassana meditation. So dear devotees, in vipassana meditation, what we do, we develop the wisdom. So with that developed wisdom, you can realize the impermanent or impermanence or impermanent nature of life and the unsatisfactoriness of life, and as well as the soullessness of life, anicca, dukkha, anatma. So when you realize these three phenomena, then only you can achieve the supreme bliss of nibbana. So our suggestion is reflect. This reflection is very worthwhile. Why? If a practitioner, if only a practitioner reflects regarding his spiritual life, then only he will upgrade his sila, samadhi and panya. Unless he will stagnate in the particular point further and further. So, you know, if there is no reflection, if there is no contemplation, so it is useless. So always we have to have some development. We have to progressively, we have to develop our sila, samadhi and panya. So this consistency, to have this consistency, we need these four right strivings or four right efforts. So that is why Lord Buddha has told, uppannanam papakanam akusalanam dhammanam pahanaya. Anuppannanam papakanam akusalanam dhammanam anuppadaya. Anuppannanam kusalanam dhammanam uppadaya. And uppannanam kusalanam dhammanam titiya asammosaya biyo bhavaya vepullaya bhavanaya paripuriya chandang janeti vayamati viryang arabati chittam paggannati padahati. So if I elaborate, unarisen, unwholesome states should be stopped. The development or the arising of unarisen, unwholesome states should be stopped. Then arisen, unwholesome states should be abandoned. Unarisen, wholesome states should be aroused. And arisen, wholesome state should be established further and further, so that finally it will achieve the paths and fruitions. It will achieve the fruitions and paths, magga and phala. So if we go back to the Rerukane Mahathero's the well-written book, dear devotees, so we have discussed this concentration regarding to the mundane level. You know, mundane level, there are these Parikamma Samadhi, Upachara Samadhi, and the Arpana Samadhi. In English, the practice concentration and access concentration and the absorption concentration. When you come to the supramundane concentration, supramundane or lokottara samadhi, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So those are the three things in Pali: Samma Vayama, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. Those are the three things we should develop. You know, in supramundane Magga, so let's take for instance Sotapatti Magga. Now all these three attributes, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, Samma Vayama, Samma Sati, and Samma Samadhi, all these three attributes arise in one chitta, the Magga chitta, and then there is no declining of concentration. So this supramundane concentration, the importance, the significance is there is no decline with compared to the mundane concentrations. You know, laukika or worldly concentrations, now they are to decline. There's a nature of declining. So gradually they lose. But these supramundane concentrations, once achieved, there is no any decay. So dear devotees, supramundane concentration is fivefold, namely the first jhanic concentration, second jhanic concentration, third jhanic concentration, fourth jhanic concentration, and the fifth jhanic concentration. So Pataman jhana, Dutiya jhana, Tatiya jhana, Chatutta jhana, and Panchama jhana. So this is the way the Lord Buddha has classified these supramundane levels. Actually, according to the doctrine of ultimacy, or in Abhidhamma context, there are 5 jhanic levels, but now in normal discourses we can find the 4 jhanic levels. Now there's a slight difference according to the discourses context, and as well as the according to discourses context and Abhidhamma context. So that's why in this Rerukane Thero's book it is given as 5 concentrations. And now let's move to the wisdom. Now wisdom also is in twofold stages, as mundane and supramundane. Dear devotees, what you should develop the wisdom as mundane level. Now see, knowledge of karma and their results, the knowledge of divine eye, the knowledge of divine ear, knowledge of seeing others' minds, knowledge of one's own previous lives, the knowledge of knowing both past and future, the knowledge of knowing how beings are reborn after their death in different plane of existences. Now these are mundane level wisdom that a practitioner can develop. See, suppose at least having the wisdom about the karma and the results of karma, that is in a way you are having some particular kind of wisdom. You know, we call the kammasakata samma aditti. Why we transfer merits to our loved ones who have departed from us, and why we transfer merits to the deities or heavenly beings. Now we know there are results and consequences. Of these deeds. Good deeds have good results. Good deeds have good results, bad deeds have bad results. Dear devotees, now if you are believing there are results and consequences related to karma, then in a way you are having a wisdom. So this kammasakata ditti or knowledge regarding the karma and their results, that means you are having an arisen wholesome state related to the attribute of wisdom. So the other things, knowledge of divine eye, knowledge of divine ear, the dibba chakku, dibba sota, now these are still you have not achieved. Don't know whether you might, if you are a practitioner, maybe you have attained these the higher psychic wisdom levels. So then if anyone have achieved these higher psychic levels or jhanic levels, then he has got the some wholesome states of wisdom. And if that particular person have not achieved this divine eye, divine ear, seeing others' minds, so-called the parachitta vijanana, so these are unarisen wholesome states that you have to develop. Dear devotees, when you come to the mundane, when you come to the supramundane level of wisdom, you know, there in Eight Noble Path, the Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, that means the right view and the right intention. Those attributes come under the supramundane wisdom level. So now this is the context related to the Sila, Samadhi and Panya. So always you have to reflect, or always you have to contemplate on what are the wholesome states that so far I couldn't achieve, I couldn't develop, I couldn't arouse in my mind. So by contemplating like that manner, then you can develop those unarisen wholesome states in your mind. So when you come to the Sapta Visuddhi, now here Sila Visiddhi, the purification of morality belongs to the training of morality, and purification of the mind, which is termed as the Chitta Visuddhi, belongs to the training of concentration. And all the other things, Ditti Visuddhi, Kanka Vitarana Visuddhi, Magga Magga Visuddhi, Patipada Jnanadassana Visuddhi, and Jnanadassana Visuddhi, all comes under the wisdom category. Now under these five, Ditti Visuddhi, Kanka Vitarana Visuddhi, Magga Magga Jnanadassana Visuddhi, Patipada Jnanadassana Visuddhi, and Jnanadassana Visuddhi, all are coming under the wisdom category. Under that, Ditti Visuddhi, Kanka Vitarana Visuddhi, Magga Vitarana, Ditti Visuddhi, Kanka Vitarana Visuddhi, Magga Magga Jnanadassana Visuddhi, Patipada Jnanadassana Visuddhi, all are mundane. And Jnanadassana Visuddhi, which is come under the supramundane purification. So the purification of knowledge and vision, that is called the Jnanadassana Visuddhi, that is termed as supramundane. So right understanding, right intention of the supramundane paths of stream enterer, once returner, non-returner, and arahantship are supramundane wisdom. So dear devotees, now referring to the past samsara, among the mundane wisdom, most of them are arisen, wholesome for beings. For those who have practiced vipassana and develop the purification of weave, the purification by overcoming of doubt, the purification by knowledge and vision of what is path and not path, the purification by knowledge and vision of the path, progress in the dispensations of the previous Buddhas are arisen wholesome states. For those who have not developed them in the past, they are unarisen wholesome states. Referring to the present world, one who have never aroused wisdom at all, wholesome wisdoms are unarisen wholesome states. If anybody has developed wisdom by any way, they are their arisen, wholesome, and others are unarisen. The supramundane wisdom is an unarisen wholesome for all ordinary persons. So, as we are still not the Arahants, not the Aryans, so we are still have not developed these supramundane levels. So, supramundane wisdom is a wisdom that unarisen category. So, dear devotees, we also have to have some knowledge regarding the stages of these defilements. Now, there are 3 stages of these defilements. What? The stage of underlying tendency, so anusaya level, the stage of preoccupation, pariyuttana level, and the stage of transgression, vitikamma level. Suppose now, latent defilements or underlying tendencies, also termed anusaya level tendencies, those are very dormant. Those are not easily seen, not easily observed in us. They are, buried, just like, hidden ones. Whenever there is a situation favorable to those defilements, then they begin to arise. So that when they arise, then they begin to arise in us, then that is what they call the pariyuttana level. Already they were in dormant stage, that is what we know as the anusaya level. Whenever they begin to arise, whenever they come into the action, then that is what we call the preoccupation level, pariyuttana level. And finally, the transgression level. At the transgression level, kamma is carried out. Like, suppose that due to the craving, that craving, the hidden one, the dormant one is the anusaya level. Whenever that particular person sees a pleasant object, now that craving develops. So that is what we call the pariyuttana level. Suppose he steals that particular object, that means he has carried out a bad physical deed. That means the defilement has reached to the vitikamma level, so transgression level. So now as you develop this threefold training, the sila, samadhi, panya, if suppose that particular person has observed the 5 precepts, the second precept is refrain from stealing. Now whenever even though that particular person has the thought or intention of stealing that particular object, now he recalls suddenly, fortunately, the morality or his virtue comes to his mind. So he reflects, now I have observed 5 precepts, now this is not a good deed I'm gonna carry out, so I should refrain from stealing. So this transgression level can be stopped by sila or virtue or morality. But when you come to the pariyuttana level, it can't be stopped. I mean, developing the defilement up to the pariyuttana level cannot be stopped by only by the sila or the morality. So there we need some additional support that is given by the concentration. Preoccupation or the pariyuttana stage is abandoned through mundane concentration, and also both preoccupation and transgression are abandoned through mundane wisdom. Pariyuttana level can be abandoned by developing the concentration, and the preoccupation pariyuttana level and the transgressing are abandoned through mundane wisdom. So this mundane wisdom is very helpful if they know the karma and the results. The bad karmas has bad results, good karmas and have good results. Now this knowledge protects the person. That is why we call the Lord Buddha has told us dhammang have rakkati dhammachari. So the stage of underlying tendency, the anusaya level, is abandoned through the supramundane morality, concentration and wisdom. So these hidden or dormant defilements are cut off by the stream entry path or sakadagami, anagami, arahat, magga and pala, those chittas. So this stage of underlying tendency is abandoned through the supramundane morality, concentration and wisdom. Mundane morality, concentration and wisdom are not sufficient to abandon the underlying tendencies. So dear devotees, this is the way we should reflect on our threefold training, and then we can develop the further and further the unarisen wholesome states that we have to arouse, we have to develop, and ultimately we can achieve the supreme bliss of Nibbana. So just like the little water is being unable to extinguish a huge fire, so you should know the amount of defilements that you should have. So if you are a lustful person or a person full of anger and a person full of delusions, then these should be abandoned with very great amount of effort. So then you have to strive hard. So dear devotees, finally, in this context, we should know what are the factors supporting to develop the four right strivings. Now in Rerukane Mahathero, in this well-written book, Thero has told us, by practicing those 5 factors, we can develop the 4 right strivings, and they are: put confidence in the enlightenment of the Buddha and his knowledge of all things; free from ailments, not too much hunger but with good digestion; honest and open-hearted to share faults with those who are worthy like teachers and companions; energetic and unhesitant to abandon unwholesome and arouse wholesome; the knowledge of arising and perishing of conditioned things. So those who are completed with any lacking of these 5 factors are certainly uncommon in the world. Therefore, one should not intend to develop right striving only after gaining these 5 factors. So, dear devotees, now there are factors supporting the striving. If that particular person has the confidence about the Buddha, then the 4 right strivings can be developed. And if that particular seeker or practitioner is free from ailments, diseases, and his body can be supported easily, then it is very supportive. And that particular person should be honest and open-hearted towards the Dhamma and all the dispensation, and that particular person should be very energetic, and the knowledge of arising of perishing of conditioned things. So if you can develop these factors, then it will support your development of four right strivings. Then you can abandon those unwholesomeness from your mind, and also you can develop all the wholesome states, and ultimately you can attain the supreme bliss, you can attain the enlightenment. So let's conclude from this point. Now Rerukane Thero has given many more other additional facts related to the Chattaro Sammappadana, four right striving. So if I conclude, what I should say is, it is our duty and responsibility whether to find out what are the unwholesome states that we still have in minds, what are the unwholesome states that we have not developed, not arised, but yet to arise in our mind. And the same manner, we have to reflect on what are the wholesome states that we have not yet aroused in our minds, and what are the wholesome states that still there are in our minds, that we have to establish them. So likewise, if you have the reflection, then you can always upgrade your Sila, Samadhi and Panya, and in another way the Sapta Visuddhi, then you can achieve the supreme bliss of Nibbana. So dear devotees, we bless you all. May you all with the power of merits that we have collected today, may you all be fortunate to liberate from this harsh journey of samsara. And let us transfer the merits that we have earned in our good karma. In recognition of this noble act, heartfelt contributions have been made by Mr. Saman Kumar of Gampaha, his wife Mrs. Champika, their daughter Harshani, and all others involved. May Mrs. Champika, who is currently unwell, be blessed with a swift and complete recovery, along with enduring good health. May every member of the family be free from illness and enjoy strength and vitality. May all be granted continuous progress, protection, and boundless blessings. We all extend our prayers for the full recovery and lasting health of Mother W.M. Somawati and Mother Jayabati, who are presently in ailing conditions. May Mr. Dinesh Sapramadu and his entire family be blessed with robust health. Furthermore, may the Senate Group of Companies, Colombo 7, Apigo Company and Aplova Company thrive and prosper endlessly. And may the abundant merits accumulated through this noble deed be dedicated to all your departed loved ones, including the late A.L. Somapala, A.L. Vasanta Kumara, K.D.G. Saparamadu, Mother Aryavati Saparamadu. May they all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana and eternal peace. Akasatta Chubummatta Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Sasana. Akasatta Chubummatta Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Deshana. Akasatta Chubummatta Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Mamparanti. Abhivadana Selissa Nicham Vadda Pachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vaddanti Ayuvanno Sukambala Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Minate Samicchatu.